अच्छा, ये जो ट्राइपार्टाइट स्ट्रगल रहा, now you can see three important powers. So these were the Rashtrakutas who were coming from south. They came up to Kannauj. This greenish part belonged to the maximum extent of the Pratiharas. और ये वाला region है, ये जो pink region है, that belongs to the Palas. और ये तीनों कहाँ के merge कर रहे थे? कन्नौज पे. कुछ बोलूँ तो बाहर से मारा जाता हूँ और ना बोलूँ तो अंदर से मारा जाता हूँ. What was the outcome of this whole, ये जो IPL हुआ कन्नौज के लिए, इसका आउटकम क्या था? That ultimately it was Pratiharas who controlled over north. पहली चीज. So you can say that the whole war, this whole process lasted for more than a century. Yes, those watching online, am I audible? कल कहाँ तक पढ़ लिया था? ग्रेट. क्या पढ़ा था कल? ओके. हमने बात की थी अबाउट द 36 डिफरेंट क्लैन्स ऑफ राजपूत. फाइन. द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड सिग्निफिकेंट अमंग देम वाज, और भी पढ़ाता है क्या? The Pratiharas were the most prominent and important. और एक टाइम ऐसा था जब their rule was over the complete part of North India. Okay. So हमने देखा that there are various theories related to the origin of Rajputs. Same applies to these Pratiharas, and Pratiharas or Gurjar Pratiharas, they are the same, those who claim to be the Gurjar community. इनका ये कहना है that they are Agnivanshi, means they are from the fire clan. Fine. And other like Chauhans and Solankis and Parmars, they will also belong to the same clan. Fine. Okay. If we talk about the rulers of Pratihara dynasty, number one in that is Nagbhatta I. (730–760). Fine. And he is considered to be the founder of the Gurjar Pratihara dynasty. Fine. And 738 was an important year, because in the year 738 he successfully defended the Arab invasion. In 738 AD, what he did was he successfully defended the Arab invasion. And the regions that were under his rule were like present day Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. So present day Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh were his areas of rule. Then the next important ruler was Vatsaraja. Next important ruler was Vatsaraja. Vatsaraja ruled from 780 to 800. Vatsaraja ruled from 780 to 800. And this was the time when Pratiharas were the most prominent power that was ruling whole northern India. So at this time there were three major powers, three contemporary powers who were ruling, the Palas, the Pratiharas and the Rashtrakutas. But in north the domination belonged to the Pratiharas. Fine. Then came Nagbhatta II. (800 to 833). (800 to 833). He was the one who established control over city of Kannauj properly. He was the one who took control of the city of Kannauj, and where he defeated the Palas and the Rashtrakutas, and he rebelled against the Rashtrakutas. So this was, but he was also defeated by Rashtrakutas later. We will talk about tripartite struggle again. But the greatest ruler of this whole dynasty was Mihir Bhoj. (838 to 885), 836. Sorry. Mihir Bhoj was the most powerful. So why he is considered the most powerful kingdom? Because his empire extended from Kashmir to Narmada and from Kathiawar to Bihar. So Mihir Bhoj, because his empire extended from Kashmir to Narmada and from Kathiawar to Bihar, that is why he is considered. So he also, there was a time when a minor or a short period control of Rashtrakutas and Palas were there, but he reinstated the control over Kannauj and he assumed the title of Adi Varaha. What is Varaha? Varaha. हाँ सही जा रहा है. Yes, the boar. The boar avatar of Vishnu is called as Varaha because he was actually a practicing Hindu. This person, Mihir Bhoj. Fine. Then next major ruler of this Pratihara dynasty was Mahendrapal I. Mahendrapal I, who ruled from 885 to 910. He was his son. Mihir Bhoj का बेटा था ये. And he ruled over present day Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. इसका जो expansion था कहाँ तक था? उत्तर प्रदेश, राजस्थान, present day. उत्तर प्रदेश, राजस्थान, मध्य प्रदेश and Gujarat. But what happened that this was the time, like ये जो Mahendrapal का जो time था, this was the last strong ruler, and after his reign, the decline of Pratiharas started because they were repeatedly attacked by the Rashtrakutas. Also, there was a very unique administrative structure that was developed by Pratiharas, was that they were having a federal kind of structure, or they were having a feudal kind of structure, where the feudatories, they were having a large power over with themselves, and as soon as they saw that the ruler is weak, they tried to take over the power. So they were having a federal structure with a network of all these feudatories, and in here the feudatories were called as Samantas. The feudatories were called as Samantas, who were semi-autonomous in nature. So here the feudal structure was like they were semi-autonomous in nature, means there was not complete freedom that they have, but neither there was a complete control of the king over the feudatories. They were given a larger degree of freedom. They were given a larger degree of freedom. So this was their structure. Or then what happened, that when you talk about their decline, another thing that happened, that their power was weakened when in the mid of 10th century. So after this, mid of 10th century means around 950 AD, they lost their control over Kannauj, and Kannauj was the most significant center of power at this point of time. So gradually क्या होता है, कन्नौज पर से भी इनका कंट्रोल चला जाता है, और उसके बाद they faced continuously invasion by Mahmud Ghazni, and in 1018 CE, Mahmud Ghazni defeated Rajapal, who was the last Pratihara king. Rajapala was the last Pratihara king who was defeated by Mostly they were following Vaishnavism. अच्छा, आर्किटेक्चर में इंपॉर्टेंट कंस्ट्रक्शंस लिख लो मैं, टेम्पल्स ऑफ कोर्स. इम्पॉर्टेंट टेम्पल्स जो प्रतिहारास के दौर में बने. यस, तेली का मंदिर एट ग्वालियर. तेली का मंदिर एट ग्वालियर. जैन टेम्पल्स एट ओसियान in Rajasthan. Jain temples at Osian, O-S-I-A-N, in Rajasthan, and Sun Temple at Modhera. So as I told you that they were involved in a power struggle for Kannauj. So tripartite struggle for Kannauj. So Okay. So this was a struggle between तीन इसमें parties थी. Palas, Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas. So also known as the Kannauj Triangle Wars. And after the fall of Harsha's empire, this was something where everyone was trying to fill the political vacuum that was there because of the fall or decline of Harsha. And why Kannauj? The bigger question is this. Why Kannauj? बहुत ही बुरी कॉफ़ी है, बहुत ही बुरी. ना शक्कर है ना कॉफ़ी है, कुछ भी नहीं. ले जाओ दूसरी बना कर लो. For me, coffee is also has same emotion and devotion what tea has. हमें उतनी वैसी आदत नहीं है ना कि जितनी प्योरिटी वाली कॉफ़ी आप लोग पीते हैं. मैंने कहीं सुना था
कॉफ़ी या तो बहुत अच्छी होती है या तो बहुत बुरी होती है.
कॉफ़ी बीच की कभी बनी नहीं है. एंड फॉर पीपल हमारे लिए चाय इज़ ब्लाइंड फेथ. हाँ, वो सही कहा उसने. अच्छी बुरी है, चाय से मतलब होना चाहिए. लेकिन फॉर पीपल ऑफ साउथ इंडिया इट इज़ डिवोशन. बट फॉर मी बोथ आर इक्वल, नो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. एक्चुअली उसको पीने के बाद लगा कि क्या मजाक है. मजाक भी नहीं है, तो समथिंग एल्स. खैर, सवाल है वाई कन्नौज. प्रेजेंटली इज कन्नौज. प्रेजेंटली इट इज 70 किलोमीटर्स डाउन साउथ ऑफ कानपुर. सो ओके, एक सेकंड, एक काम करते. और
जो उसका स्ट्रेटेजिक पोजीशन थी, मतलब डाउन पे बीचों बीच है, इधर बंगाल की तरफ सी का एक्सेस भी है, बहुत पास में, मतलब समुद्र पास में कंपेयर टू. और वो एक क्या आया power sector.
See the news here.
हाँ सर, इसका वीडियो देखा मैंने. This year it was denied.
Okay. अरे भाई, ज़्यादा टेक्निकल होना भी ना, बट ठीक है. सो हियर इट इज़ कन्नौज. यू कैन सी हियर इट इज़ कन्नौज. अच्छा, ये जो ट्राइपार्टाइट स्ट्रगल रहा, now you can see three important powers. So these were the Rashtrakutas who were coming from south. They came up to Kannauj. This greenish part belonged to the maximum extent of the Pratiharas. और ये वाला region है, ये जो pink region है, that belongs to the Palas. और ये तीनों कहाँ आके merge कर रहे थे? Kannauj पे. Now you got it. Fine. So this is the tripartite struggle for the Palas, between the Palas, Pratiharas and the Rashtrakutas. For what? For dominance, for control over Kannauj. The first and the most important thing that Kannauj was located at a very strategic trade route, and that is on the banks of river Ganga. So even today, National Waterway 1? No. So there's a waterway from Banaras to. So basically, as Ganga enters this region, this plains region, Haridwar के बाद जो है वो Ganga is Shant river. इसलिए Haridwar is important because from there Ganga enters into the plains. So it is a navigable route. Fine. So you see, Kannauj is on the bank of river Ganga, and it is going down south up to present day Bangladesh, and it forms. Another thing is that this is linked to the Silk Route. Kannauj was linked to the Silk Route through waterways. Fine. Also, because it was a junction where land route and water routes were combining, that is why it was a very important center or hub for trade and commerce. So there was trade and commerce, there was, and most important thing, that it was giving access to the Gangetic Plains. So if you are here, you are controlling this whole region. If you are here, you are controlling, if not this whole region, this part, you are controlling it. Fine. Means you are controlling over the most fertile land, one of the most fertile land of the world. Though the most fertile land lies here in Bangladesh. But you cannot say that, okay, this whole belt of Ganga, it is one of the most fertile land of the world. Fine. So if you are having access to the one of the most fertile land of the world, means what? You are having access, food surplus. Means you can maintain a larger army, you can have control over trade, and क्योंकि Kannauj Harsha की capital था, was considered the greatest ruler of that period. So control over Kannauj was symbolic. More, it was of a status symbol rather than, apart from strategic, it was more about a status symbol. Also, with the collapse of Harsha's empire in 7th century, northern India became politically fragmented. With the collapse of Harsha's empire in 7th century, northern India became politically fragmented, and there was no, and various dynasties emerged. We saw that various clans will emerge. But all of them were so weak, or rather they were not so strong, so that they could control the whole region. That is why we saw that there was a continuous fight between them. Okay. So you are at Kannauj, means your political supremacy is established. That is why, अब देखो ना, ये नीचे साउथ से कहाँ तक आ रहे थे. Fine. So these were like, they controlled this Pallavas, these were the Ganga Cholas, Cheras, Pandyas, Eastern Chalukyas, the Chalukyas. Then this is Manikhet. Malkhed? अच्छा, मुझे लगा इसमें भी कोई गड़बड़ है. Check your eyes. No, that is more important. Fine. So ये उस दौर में ये मतलब स्ट्रगल था यहाँ के लिए, और ये तीनों लड़ रहे थे. And how this went on, I'll tell you. So there was a title. So there was Uttar Path and Dakshin Path. Uttar Path means north of Narmada, Dakshin Path means south of Narmada. So there was a title which was Uttar Path Swami. He means Lord of the North. Not Jon Snow. Fine. Whosoever will control this place will call as Uttar Path Swami, that is Lord of the North. Fine. So, अब इनके बीच battles हुई. We quickly see them. Okay, Palas, Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas. Conflict शुरू होता है somewhere around 790. Conflict की शुरुआत होती है somewhere around 790 CE. Okay. So in this, what happened, that धर्मपाल. So he was a Pala king. PA is for Pala. Dharampal was a Pala king, and he fought a battle with Vatsaraja. Who was a Pratihara king. Who was a Pratihara king. But in this, what happened? In this battle, Vatsaraja was victorious. इस बैटल को किसने जीता? लिखने में मत रहो, पहले समझ लो फिर लिख लेना. इस बैटल को किसने जीता? वत्सराजा. फाइन. सो प्रतिहाराज वर व्हाट? वन. फाइन. सो ये राजस्थान वाली साइड से. सो दिस इज योर राजस्थान रॉयल्स. पालाज वर कमिंग फ्रॉम बंगाल. KKR. बट दिल नहीं माना, बैंगलोर आया. हाँ. देन व्हाट हैपेंड? केम ध्रुवा, who was Rashtrakuta. Dhruva attacked whom? Dhruva attacked Vatsaraja. इनका बैटल किससे हुआ? Vatsaraja, who was Pratihara, and in this Dhruva was victorious. अच्छा, problem what happened that when Dhruva came, you see their capital was in Malkhed, the present day Malkhed. So when he came up north, he started losing control over Deccan. So before he could stay here and consolidate his position, हाँ ये ठीक है, शक्ल से तो ठीक है, आगे का पता नहीं. हाँ तो पहला अट्रैक्शन तो शक्ल का ही होता है, तो बाद में पता चलता है कि असलियत क्या है. मतलब व्हेन यू लुक एट समवन, यू लाइक समवन, बी इट अ गर्ल, बी इट अ बॉय, व्हाटसोएवर, तो वो पहला अट्रैक्शन तो गुड लुक्स का ही है ना. बात करने के बाद पता चलता है, साथ रहने के बाद पता चलता है कि इंसान कितना पानी में है. क्या जोयल है?
मतलब स्टार्टिंग में बहुत इनोसेंट,
तो अब भी इनोसेंट है.
नहीं सर, वही तो बता रहा हूं.
क्यों इनोसेंट क्यों नहीं है?
सर उसका जोक्स थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही डार्क होता है. वो जब जोक करता है थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही डार्क हो जाता है. पता नहीं कि जानबूझ के होता है, इसको पता नहीं.
अपने जोक्स का शेड चेंज कर दो, put a filter over them so that it looks lesser dark. Fine. Yes. हाँ, एक और चीज़ है कि बहुत सी आजकल जो है ना स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड बातें लोगों को अच्छी नहीं लगती. कुछ बोलूं तो बाहर से मारा जाता हूँ, कुछ बोलूं तो बाहर से मारा जाता हूँ, और ना बोलूं तो अंदर से मारा जाता हूँ. मैं कुछ बोल के मरना चाहता हूँ, मैं कुछ बोल के मरना चाहता हूँ. बिकॉज इफ आई विल नॉट स्पीक, अंदर कुछ मर जाएगा, और बोला तो दुनिया मारेगी. इससे अच्छा बोल के मर जाओ. देखिए, ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आपके साथ किसी ने गलत किया, ज़रूर नहीं आप उसकी हो सकता है कि ठीक है, यू हैव दैट करेज टू लेट गो, बट इवन इफ यू आर लेटिंग इट गो, make the person realize that you felt bad. This is the minimum degree of resistance that you can show, the lowest degree of resistance. आप उससे लड़ो मत, आप उसे मारो मत, आप उसको गालियाँ मत दो, आप उससे झगड़ो, कुछ मत करो, लेकिन 2 सेकंड रुक के उसे एहसास दिलाओ कि हाँ तुम्हें बुरा लगा, और ये बात उसको पता होनी चाहिए. It's okay if you're dark. मतलब you felt that he is innocent, so that is his USP ना. Don't underestimate. मैं सीरियसली बोल रहा हूँ. That's good. That's good. हाँ मतलब this is so. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? Coming back. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? That Dhruva defeated Vatsaraja. So what happened that he could not, जैसे ही वो नॉर्थ की तरफ आया तो उसका कंट्रोल ओवर साउथ जो है वो जाने लगा, उसका जो कंट्रोल ओवर साउथ है वो जाने लगा, और he left Kannauj and went there to consolidate his position down south. Fine. अच्छा, जैसे ही वो गया, जैसे ही कौन, ध्रुवा वापस डेक्कन की तरफ गया, what happened, पालाज ने इस पोजीशन का फ़ायदा उठाया कि कन्नौज के ऊपर कोई डोमिनेशन नहीं, और उनको पता था कि अभी हम प्रतिहारा से तो लड़ नहीं पाएंगे, तो उन्होंने क्या किया, दे इंस्टेटेड उन्होंने क्या किया, चक्र युद्ध को जो है वो राजा बना दिया. मतलब चक्र युद्ध वॉज लाइक अ पपेट रूलर ऑफ कन्नौज, गॉट सपोर्ट फ्रॉम हुम, गॉट सपोर्ट ऑफ पालाज. इधर क्या होता है, वत्स राजा के बाद नागभट्टा नागभट्टा टू क्या करता है, पहले वो अटैक करता है चक्रयुद्ध पर, क्योंकि चक्रयुद्ध वाज ऑफ कोर्स ही वाज अ वीक पपेट रूलर, तो इस चीज़ का एडवांटेज लेके वो क्या करता है, वो चक्रयुद्ध पे अटैक करता है और चक्रयुद्ध को हरा देता है. अब इसके बाद क्या होना था, चक्रयुद्ध को बैठाया किसने था, what could be the next thing? Yes. So there was a conflict, between. So what happened? The next battle was between Nagabhatta II and Dharampal. The next battle was between Nagabhatta II and Dharampala. Fine.
Sir, he didn't die when he fought with Vatsaraja.
Sorry?
When he didn't die when he got defeated.
बट ही वॉज हिज सक्सेसर ना, वत्स राजा के बाद बेटा आया ना. एक सेकंड, ठीक है. सो चक्रयुद्ध, और चक्रयुद्ध को हराने के बाद they met at Battle of Munger. Who? Nagabhatta and Dharampal. They met at Battle of Munger, in which Nagabhatta was, yes, साउथ वालों का फिर ये भी बस जीता ही था कि साउथ में व्हाट हैपेंड, देयर वाज अ सिविल वॉर आफ्टर डेथ ऑफ दिस ध्रुवा, देयर वाज अ सिविल वॉर काइंड ऑफ कंडीशन, एंड देन देयर वाज अ वॉर ऑफ सक्सेशन. तो फॉर 3 years दिस गॉट सेटल्ड, और जैसे ही सेटल होता है, सो गोविंद III ऑफ द राष्ट्रकूटा डायनेस्टी जैसे ही उसे दिखता है कि नाउ माई कंडीशन इन डेक्कन इज स्टेबलाइज्ड, गोविंद III अटैक्ड नागभट्टा. अरे जनता मैच देखने के लिए तो नहीं गायब हो गई. Today's match at Kotla ना, India versus Bangladesh T20 यही है दिल्ली में ना आज. हाँ, तुम लोग क्या करते हो? आईपीएल ने ख़त्म कर दिया वो क्रेज़. मुझे अब सिर्फ एक ही चीज़ का क्रेज़ है.
जब से आईपीएल आया वर्ल्ड कप का
Still I can watch test match. but not, these things. So ये battles चलती रही, इसी तरीके से ये battles चलती रही, and in that battle Govinda III was the Rashtrakuta king. Govinda III who was the Rashtrakuta king, he defeated नागभट्ट. फिर क्या हुआ, होता यही था, जैसे ही कोई साउथ का राजा नॉर्थ की तरफ आता था, उसका पोजीशनिंग और उसका कंट्रोल ओवर साउथ जो है वो कम होने लगता था. एंड अल्टीमेटली व्हाट हैपेंड दैट गोविंदा III आल्सो हैव टू गो बैक in order to consolidate and control his position in south, and इसको क्या हुआ, इसका बेनिफिट जैसे ही गोविंदा III जाता है वापस, उसका बेनिफिट कौन उठाता है, नागभट्ट II, एंड ही रीगेन द कंट्रोल ऑफ कन्नौज. कन्नौज, ये ठीक है, फाइन. Okay. What was the outcome of this whole, ये जो IPL हुआ कन्नौज के लिए, इसका आउटकम क्या था, that ultimately it was Pratiharas who controlled over north, पहली चीज़. So you can say that the whole war, this whole process lasted for more than a century. हाँ, ये 200 साल से बल्कि 2 सेंचुरीज चला ये. इट लास्टेड इन 2 centuries, एंड इतना लंबा पीरियड जस्ट इन ऑर्डर टू कंट्रोल ओवर कन्नौज. अल्टीमेटली 9th century के आसपास आप कह सकते हो कि द कंट्रोल ऑफ कन्नौज वॉज इन हैंड्स ऑफ प्रतिहारास, और उसके बाद इन्होंने कंसोलिडेट किया. यस, ये तो हुआ ही ना. यही तो सारा टेंशन था. दैट लिख लो, आउटकम्स ऑफ द ट्राइपार्टाइट स्ट्रगल. The Pratiharas emerged as the dominant power in North India. The Pratiharas emerged as a dominant power in North India and controlled Kannauj for the longest period. During the tripartite struggle. For the longest period during the tripartite struggle. Despite their victory, the constant conflict weakened all 3 dynasties. And none of them could establish none of them could establish long-term absolute control over the entire northern region. Full stop. The tripartite struggle led to the political fragmentation. In northern India. as three major powers exhausted their resources, as three major powers exhausted their resources in the prolonged conflict. This fragmentation, after full stop, this fragmentation later facilitated the rise of the smaller regional kingdoms, the rise of smaller regional kingdoms, and the eventual invasions by Turkish forces. And the eventual invasion by Turkish forces. फाइन, अगर ये नहीं बनाया तो बना लो. Done? Now let us talk about the palas. So this pala means protector. Okay, palne wala. Fine. And this was a common suffix that was used by the rulers of this dynasty, and this dynasty was founded in 750 AD. By Gopala. Achha, what happened? That he was not a ruler, or he was not someone who came from a royal background. Rather, he was a military commander, and in the region of Bengal, there was a widespread anarchy that prevailed at that point of time. So, what happened that the local chieftains of Bengal, they came all together and they elected Gopala to be the ruler. So Gopala became king by a democratic way. Gopala became king by a democratic way, where all the chiefs, they fine. So he was the first, Gopala was the founder, and he ruled till 770. He ruled till 770 AD, and so he established control over the, yes. So by the time there was no much significance, his more focus was on expansion of the empire and ensuring, let's say, peace and tranquility. Ultimately, he was, sorry, by the time he died in 770, the Pala kingdom included most of Bengal and parts of Bihar. So Bengal और बिहार के region में जो है इनका initial control था. Then he was succeeded by his son Dharmpal. (772 810). See, and he is considered as the greatest Pala ruler. He is considered as the greatest Pala ruler because it was his time that the Palas were the most powerful dynasty of the north. तो Palas का सबसे ज़्यादा domination का आया धर्मपाल के दौर में, and कन्नौज वाली कहानी हम देख चुके हैं. So I am not going to discuss that. One point that you have to remember, that he laid the foundation of Vikramshila University. He laid the foundation of Vikramshila University. ना नालंदा किसने रखा था? कुमारगुप्त. Fine, and he also developed he also gave patronage to Nalanda University. Also, he was a great patron of Buddhism. He was a great patron of Buddhism, and you can say that, or even Gopala is considered as the first Buddhist king of Bengal. Gopala is considered as the first Buddhist king of Bengal. So he was also continuously fighting with this No doubt, Palas and Buddhism, that is important. इस पे सवाल आ चुका है. Palas and Buddhism. The Palas were devout followers of Mahayana Buddhism. The Palas were devout followers of Mahayana Buddhism. And were great patrons of Buddhist institutions and scholars. Great patrons of Buddhist institutions and scholars. They founded several Buddhist monasteries and universities. They founded several Buddhist monasteries and universities. The most notable being the Vikramshila University, patronage to Nalanda University, which became learning centers of Buddhist learning, of Buddhist studies, which became learning centers of Buddhist studies and attracted students from all over the world. Especially from Tibet, China, and Southeast Asia. Especially from Tibet, China, and Southeast Asia. Full stop. The Pala period is known for its distinctive Pala art. The Pala period is known for its distinctive Pala art, characterized by the sculptures made of black stone, characterized by sculptures made of black stone, featuring finely detailed images, of Buddha and Bodhisattvas. Leave it blank. आगे बताना. Full stop. Pala architecture included construction of the construction of grand Buddhist viharas, stupas and temples. Construction of grand Buddhist viharas, stupas and temples. They promoted both Buddhist and Hindu art. The Somapura Mahavihara. The Somapura Mahavihara at Paharpur in present day Bangladesh. Paharpur. P-H-A-R-P-U-R. At Paharpur in present day Bangladesh is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. World Heritage Site. Buddhist monastery at Udantapuri in Bihar. Buddhist monastery at Udantapuri in Bihar are some famous examples of Pala architecture. So what Dharmpal did, that he married a Rashtrakuta princess. भाई पुराना तरीका है तो जंग लड़ लो, शादी कर लो. So what he did, Dharmpal, that he married a Rashtrakuta princess, and he also defeated one of the greatest ruler of Rashtrakutas, that is Amogh Varsha. Not he, it was his son, Devpal. So the next after him was 810 to 850 CE. So he extended his kingdom to this side, Assam, Odisha, Kamrup. So he extended who? Devapala, he extended his kingdom to this part. Also he defeated the very famous and a very strong Rashtrakuta ruler, Amoghavarsha. Amoghavarsha. Fine. The last strong Pala king was Rampal, and leave that. So what happened that by 1162 we saw there is a decline of the Palas were over. By 1162 the Palas were over and the Palas will be replaced by the Sen or the Sena ruler. Fine. Then next, Tomars of Delhi.
ये वाला वो एक मानसिक
सेम मतलब सेम लीनिएज है. दे आर चंद्रवंशी राजपूत्स. लेकिन फिर वही चीज़ है कि अब पता है अब बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है नॉर्थ इंडिया, बिहार और नॉर्दर्न बेल्ट, हरियाणा में भी इंक्लूडेड है. आज से 50 साल पहले सरनेम से समझ में आ जाता था कि व्हाट इज़ योर लीनिएज, लेकिन अब नहीं समझ में आता. अब तो सरनेम शर्मा लगा रहे हैं, कैटेगरी ऐसे लिख रहे हैं. आई हैव सीन. तो पहले मतलब योर सरनेम, योर क्लैन नेम, योर लीनिएज यूज्ड टू टेल कि सरनेम से समझ में आ जाता था कि अच्छा तुम कौन से वाले, किस कैटेगरी को बिलोंग करते हो या क्या तुम्हारा सोशल स्टेटस है इन द वर्ना सिस्टम, लेट्स से. लेकिन आज के टाइम पे थोड़ा सा जो है ना चेंज होने लगा है. थोड़ा नहीं, एक्चुअली बहुत चेंज हो गया है आज, और ये होगा आगे चल के और ज़्यादा ब्लर होने वाला है. क्योंकि जैसे जैसे इश्क मोहब्बत परवान चढ़ेगा, हो क्यों रहा है, इसीलिए तो हो रहा है भाई. मोर यू विल हैव फ्रीडम, मोर पीपल विल रियलाइज फ्रीडम ऑफ freedom to get married, more you will have provisions like special marriage act and other things will give more, and then you will have a. अच्छा, पहले नहीं होता था. पहले क्या होता था, आज से 15-20 साल पहले, 30 साल, 15 साल, 20 साल पहले, not more than that, when woman used to get married, she leaves her father's surname and adopts the surname of the husband, right? आज उल्टा होने लग गया है. In the sense, they are not leaving the surname of the father, they are adding their husband's surname.
उनके डॉक्यूमेंट्स में भी वो चलता है.
हाँ. तो अब वो बड़ा मतलब ठीक है, सोसाइटी थोड़ी सी कॉम्प्लेक्स हो रही है, बट फ्रॉम हियर इट वाज सिंप्लीफाइड हियर. फाइन. सो द तोमर्स ऑफ दिल्ली. अच्छा, अब इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ ये है कि अभी तक आपने दिल्ली शहर का नाम भी नहीं सुना. इतनी हमने हिस्ट्री पढ़ ली, अभी तक कहीं दिल्ली शब्द आया नहीं आया. दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम बिकॉज इट वाज तोमर्स हु फाउंडेड द सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली. यस. So they were the Chandravanshi Rajputs who ruled in the parts of Haryana and what you know as Delhi today. And 739, if I'm not wrong, 736. AD, Anangpal Tomar, he founded the city of Delhi. और इस टाइम पे इसका नाम दिल्ली ना होके दिल्ली था, और मतलब there's a H added, और दिल्ली का as they called. But gradually this and उन्होंने जो पुरानी दिल्ली की तरफ लाल कोट है, मतलब थोड़ा सा आउटस्कर्ट्स ऑफ दिल्ली टुवर्ड्स हरियाणा, Lal Port was their capital, gradually, which was in the city of Delhi. आज के टाइम पे उसे कहा जाता है किला राय पिथौरा. आप समझ गए. ये उनकी कैपिटल थी. नाउ इट इज़ नोन एज दे फोर्टिफाई दिस लाल कोट. जगह को इन्होंने फोर्टिफाई किया एंड अब उसको किला राय पिथौरा. फाइन. अच्छा, देन ही वॉज सक्सीडेड बाय अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट रूलर. वी आर नॉट, ये इतने इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है या इतना इनका सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं कि इनकी रूलर्स को अलग देखा जाए. जहाँ जहाँ इंपॉर्टेंट है नाउ आई विल टेल यू. डायनेस्टी का अब इसके बाद हम किसी को प्रॉपरली पढ़ेंगे तो हम राष्ट्रकूटास को पढ़ेंगे, वरना जिसकी जो जो इंपॉर्टेंट 2-2, 4-4 लाइन है बस उतना ही विल लुक इनटू दिस. देन अनंगपाल तोमर द सेकंड. Anangpal Tomar II, and you can say that he was the most famous ruler of this dynasty, who played a very significant role in the expansion of the Tomar rule. Fine. Or the Iron Pillar at Mehrauli. जो आयरन पिलर इंस्टॉल्ड है महरौली. गए हो संडे? अच्छा, संडे को तो सर आप क्लास के लिए बुला लेते हो, तो हम कैसे जाएं. बट इफ यू गेट टाइम समवेयर विजिट पोस्ट लंच, दैट्स अ गुड टाइम. और जाओ कुतुब कॉम्प्लेक्स पूरा. लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स यू विल फाइंड. हिस्ट्री इज, आफ्टर वी कंप्लीट मिडिवल हिस्ट्री देन यू गो एंड यू विल एंजॉय इट मोर. हाँ, कुतुब एक्सटेंशन और कुतुब कॉम्प्लेक्स की तरफ जाओगे तो आपको बहुत कुछ मिलेगा वहाँ पे. कुतुब मीनार एंड इट्स सराउंडिंग्स एंड एवरीथिंग बहुत है. हाँ हाँ, उस पर तो वो पूरा वो लिखा हुआ है. मेरे फ़ोन में होगा पिक्चर. इसमें अभी लास्ट ईयर गया था तो Yeah. So yes, this one. So this is the iron pillar, and this is the Qutub Minar. So ये मैं गया था लास्ट ईयर. शाम ऐसे जाना कि दिन के टाइम सब विजिट कर लो, शाम के टाइम यू कैन स्टे बिकॉज द लाइटिंग्स आर ब्यूटीफुल. जाया करो ऐसी जगह. फाइन. हाँ, थोड़ा सा मेट्रो स्टेशन से दूर है बट ठीक है, चल जाएगा. तुम्हें कौन सा पैरों में जो है तकलीफ है कि तुम नहीं चल पाओगे? है ये तो कहो बात कर लेते हैं मोदी जी से कि सर ज़रा 10-15 दिन के लिए कुतुब मीनार को जो है ना ORN शिफ्ट करवा दीजिए. लड़कों को दिक्कत हो रही है उतनी दूर जाने में. फाइन. सो इट वॉज Anangpal Tomar II who shifted this iron pillar at Mehrauli. एंड ये मतलब दिस इज़ अ वेरी यूनिक, मतलब हज़ारियों साल पुराना है, ना रस्टिंग है ना कुछ है, स्टिल स्टैंड्स लाइक दैट. इट वाज गुप्ता पीरियड का है. ये मुझे देखना पड़ेगा. आई विल सी. बिलीव टू बी इन मध्य प्रदेश. वहाँ से यहाँ और उसका ट्रांसपोर्टेशन भी कुछ ना कुछ कलाकारी का ही वो रहा होगा. अच्छा, क्या हुआ ये बढ़िया अपना नॉर्मल तोमर्स जो हैं वो रूल कर रहे थे. फाइन. सो देयर अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट रूलर वाज महिपाल तोमर हु कैप्चर्ड हंसी, नागरकोट, थानेश्वर, ये पूरा हरियाणा वाला बेल्ट जो है उसने कैप्चर किया 1043 AD में. लेकिन हुआ क्या, in the mid of somewhere around 1191, 1150, 1150s के आसपास, Tomars were attacked by Chauhans of Ajmer. Tomars were attacked by Chauhans of Ajmer, and Chauhans defeated Tomar, and Tomars became feudatories of Chauhan. इसलिए जब आप 1191 में हम बैटल ऑफ तराई की बात करेंगे तो दिल्ली पे कंट्रोल पृथ्वीराज चौहान का रहेगा. तो ये तोमर्स रूल कर रहे थे दिल्ली के ऊपर, लेकिन फिर क्या होता है, द चौहान्स दे विल रूल देम, और उनको हटाएंगे एंड दे विल कंट्रोल, दे विल हैव अ कंट्रोल ओवर दिल्ली. फाइन. सो दिस हैपेंड.
So John's ruled till Delhi Sultanate.
1192. Okay. Now next, Chauhans of Ajmer and Delhi. Chauhans of Ajmer and Delhi. तो ये भी अग्निकुल के हैं. फाइन. सो अजय राजा द फर्स्ट, he is credited to be the founder of Chauhan dynasty and also the foundation of the city. At that time it was called as Ajay Meru. हर से टेंशन में आ जाता है जैसे ही उसे पता चलता है कि हर शहर का जो है नाम जो है वो बदल दिया गया है. हाँ, फाइन. अच्छा, लिखते जाओ, इनके बारे में लिख लो. They were feudatories of Pratiharas. They were feudatories of Pratiharas and declared their complete independence. Declared their complete independence in 1101. They captured Ujjain from Parmars of Malwa. They captured Ujjain from Parmars of Malwa and Delhi from Chauhans. And Delhi from Chauhans in the first half of 12th century. In the first half of 12th century. They shifted their capital to Delhi. They shifted their capital to Delhi. Prithviraj Chauhan is the most famous ruler of this dynasty. Prithviraj Chauhan is the most famous ruler of this dynasty and the last prominent Rajput ruler. And the last prominent Rajput ruler before the Muslim invasions of northern India. before the Muslim invasions of northern India. He is most well known for his role. He is most well known for his role in the first and the second battle of Tarai. In the first and the second battles of Tarai against Muhammad Ghori. Against Muhammad Ghori. Tarai, T-A-R-A-I-L. In the first and the second battle of Tarai. Fine. Next, Rathors of Kannauj. Rathors of Kannauj, 1090 to 1194. अच्छा, यहाँ सिर्फ एक पॉइंट याद रखना. द ग्रेटेस्ट रूलर कंसिडर्ड ऑफ दिस डायनेस्टी वॉज राजा जयचंद राठौड़. जयचंद राठौड़, who was defeated and killed in Battle of Chandwar. Who was defeated and killed in Battle of Chandwar, 1194 by Muhammad Ghori. Ghori. Then next, Chandelas of Bundelkhand. Chandelas of Bundelkhand. Okay. So again, Chandravanshi rulers of Rajput, and they were also feudatories of Pratiharas. They were also feudatories of Pratiharas. और 9th सेंचुरी के आसपास इन्होंने बुंदेलखंड में अपने आप को स्टैब्लिश किया. बुंदेलखंड कौन सा रीजन हो गया? वो तो एमपी कह रहा है. रोहिलखंड तो बरेली वाला बेल्ट हो गया. बुंदेलखंड कह रहा हूँ तो रोहिलखंड कह रहा है. दोनों सही. सो दिस होल झांसी, रीवा, सतना, ऊपर इधर झांसी से ललितपुर और ये वाला जितना बेल्ट है, दैट इज बुंदेलखंड. ग्वालियर और ये वाला भी रीजन बुंदेलखंड. ग्वालियर तो नहीं आता है ना, मतलब बुंदेलखंड में एमपी और यूपी. इसीलिए बुंदेलखंड का भी रियलाइजेशन में नहीं आ पाता, क्योंकि उसके लिए 2 स्टेट्स की बॉर्डर चेंज करनी पड़ेगी, एमपी और यूपी की, दोनों की. पार्ट्स ऑफ राजस्थान भी आता है बुंदेलखंड में. सो ये उस एमपी यूपी राजस्थान वाला जो पूरा वो ट्रायंगुलर बेल्ट बनता है ना, वहाँ पर जैसे फ्रॉम हियर इफ विल गो टू भोपाल बाय ट्रेन, सो व्हाट विल हैपन, यू विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम दिल्ली, then you will cross Faridabad, which is in Haryana. Fine. Then you will reach Mathura, Agra, which is in UP. Then you will reach Dholpur, which is in Rajasthan. Then you will reach Gwalior, which is in MP. Then you will reach Jhansi, which is in UP. Then you will enter MP. तो ये जो बेल्ट है ना, धौलपुर, मुरैना, ग्वालियर, रीवा, सतना, यहाँ जो पूरा नॉर्दर्न एमपी का जो हिस्सा है वो, और ऊपर की जो यूपी का हिस्सा है झांसी ललितपुर वाला, दिस होल रीजन इज broadly called as Bundelkhand. Fine. So the founder of this dynasty was Vishnuvardhana, who again was a feudatory of whom? प्रतिहारास. और जैसे ही प्रतिहारास कमज़ोर हुए, इन्होंने क्या किया, अपने आप को स्टैब्लिश कर लिया. विष्णुवर्धना, यस. इनसे सिर्फ एक ही सवाल आता है, एंड दैट इज ऑन देयर आर्किटेक्चर. यस. So the खजुराहो ग्रुप ऑफ मॉन्यूमेंट्स, खजुराहो के मंदिर जो है वो चंदेला राजाओं ने बनाए. फाइन. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, कांडरिया महादेव टेम्पल, कांडरिया महादेव. कंडरिया महादेव टेम्पल, लक्ष्मण टेम्पल, and Vishwanath temple, and Vishwanath temple. देख लो, दो लाइनें देख लो इनके बारे में. The decline of Chandela dynasty began in late 11th century. The decline of the Chandela dynasty began in the late 11th century. Due to the increasing pressure from emerging powers, notably the Cholas, Parmars, and later the Delhi Sultanate. Cholas, Parmars, and later the Delhi Sultanate. The last Chandela ruler was Paramal. The last Chandela ruler was Paramal, who was defeated by Qutbuddin Aibak. Who was defeated by Qutbuddin Aibak in 1203. Qutbuddin Aibak in 1203. Next, the Sisodiyas or Gohilas of Mewar. The Sisodiyas or Gohilas of Mewar, these are Suryavanshi Rajputs. These are So this dynasty was founded by Bappa Rawal in 728. So he founded this Mewar dynasty. Then अच्छा, इनकी कहानी थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट है. दे वर रूलिंग, इनके 3-4 इम्पॉर्टेंट किंग्स वर लाइक राणा कुंभा, उससे पहले राणा रतन सिंह. So Rana Ratan Singh was Padmavati का पति. Rana Ratan Singh was Padmavati's husband. Fine. So he was who faced the, invasion. So he was killed in 1307. Alauddin Khilji defeated and killed him. Fine. Then later their major rulers were like Rana Kumbha, so Kumbhalgarh Fort, Rana Kumbha ne 1433 to 1468. Fine. Then another prominent figure was Rana Sanga, 1509 to 1527. So he was the one who was defeated by Babur in Battle of Khanwa. So Rana Sanga was defeated by Babur in Battle of Khanwa 1527, and then Maharana Pratap Battle of Haldighati 1576, he got defeated against Akbar. क्या वो Akbar actually was defeated by Raja Man Singh. बड़ा टेक्निकल है, मतलब whenever now, especially in the era of social media, when you see the narrative of Rana Pratap, you will find that he is being depicted as someone who is, the staunch Hindu, ruler who fought against the Mughals. Yes, he fought against the Mughal, but the decisive battle was Battle of Haldighati, 1576. And the peculiar thing about Battle of Haldighati was that the Mughal forces were led by Raja Man Singh, who himself was a Rajput. And this person, Maharana Pratap, his most, you can say, the ferocious and the courageous and most lethal regiment was led by Hakim Khan Sur. So Hakim Khan Sur was fighting for him. There, Raja Man Singh was fighting for Akbar. So there was nowhere it was the element of religion. Kahin nahi tha. It was just about gaining the territory. Fine. Important, architecture में लिख लो, चित्तौड़गढ़ फोर्ट, कुंभलगढ़ फोर्ट, Chittorgarh Fort, Kumbhalgarh Fort. Chittorgarh Fort is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Chittorgarh is UNESCO World Heritage Site, and City Palace of Udaipur. हाँ. उदयपुर. Okay. Then Parmars of Malwa. They're most famous. So they were ruling from Dhar, MP. They were ruling from Dhar, present day Madhya Pradesh, and Munja or Vigrah Raja I was their founder. Munja or Vigrah Raja I was their founder, but their most famous ruler was Raja Bhoj. Ten to 1055. Fine. Fine. The most famous ruler was Raja Bhoj, and आर्किटेक्चर लिख लो बस, इनसे और कुछ नहीं आएगा. आर्किटेक्चर, इंपॉर्टेंट बिल्डिंग्स आर्किटेक्चर. भोजेश्वर टेम्पल इन भोजपुर. भोजपुर एमपी में है, ध्यान रखना, ये वो भोजपुर इधर वाला नहीं है, एमपी में. ठीक है. भोजेश्वर टेम्पल इन भोजपुर. उदयेश्वर टेम्पल इन उदयपुर. Udayeshwar temple in Udaipur. The Bhopal lake. Lake, yes. It is a lake which is of 250 square miles, one of the largest man-made lake was done. So this, then Buddhist rock-cut caves, Junagadh. Buddhist rock-cut caves, Junagadh. Sanskrit College at Dhar. Sanskrit College at Dhar. Their rule was ended in late 13th century by Alauddin Khilji. Their rule was ended in late 13th century by Alauddin Khilji. Fine. Clear हुआ? Now moving down south. Rashtrakutas. So the Rashtrakutas ruled from 8th to 10th centuries. The Rashtrakutas ruled from Okay. So the Rashtrakutas call themselves the descendants of Satyaki. Satyaki is a character in Mahabharata. Fine. But historically we, see that they were the descendants of the Yadavas, and initially they were feudatories of Chalukyas of Badami. They were feudatories of Chalukyas of Badami. Means originally they were feudals of the Chalukyan dynasty, and later on they declared themselves to be independent. And the founder of this dynasty Danti Durga or Danti Varman, who started rule in 735. Fine. And this was the foundation of one of the most strong kingdom at this point of time in the Deccan and the Karnataka region. Fine. So he occupied all the territories between Godavari and Bhima river. He occupied all the territories between Godavari and Bhima river. Okay. He occupied Maharashtra by defeating Chalukyans. He occupied Maharashtra by defeating Chalukyans. He also conquered Kalinga, Kanchi, Kosala, etc. Then he was succeeded by his son, Krishna first. (774). He was succeeded by his son, Krishna I. So whatever was left under Chalukyans at this point of time, he conquered that, and then. But the question that will come to from Krishna I is, he is known for constructing the Kailash temple at Ellora. Yes. The Kailash temple at Ellora. एक ही सवाल आएगा इससे आया तो. Kailash temple at Ellora. Then Dhruvadhara Varsha. (780 to 793). ये कौन सा वाला है? ये ट्राइपार्टाइट स्ट्रगल वाला. फाइन, तो इसके बारे में आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू टेल. देन Govinda III, 793 to 814. (793 to 814) and 814 AD. और ये वही है जो उन पर था, गोविंदा III who defeated नागभट्टा and all. So इसका सिग्निफिकेंस वहाँ पर ज़्यादा है, बट he had his empire extended from Narmada to Kanyakumari. Yes, the whole of the south. And even he forced the kingdom of Ceylon, that is Sri Lanka, and the Cheras and the Pandyas to pay him tribute. So he was strong. But the greatest ruler of this dynasty, the greatest ruler of the Rashtrakutas was the Amogha Varsha I. You see his rule, 814 to 878 CE. Yes.
He was a king
All his life. Yes. So no doubt he was the greatest king of the Rashtrakutas. He was a great patron of art, culture and literature. And you can say that the cultural zenith of the Rashtrakutas was marked in this. He moved his capital to Manyakhet. इसने क्या किया सबसे पहले? इसने capital establish की modern day Malkhet. So he was a great scholar and he wrote a very prominent Kannada literary work, and that is Kavi Rajamarg. Kannada was fine. He was initially he was a Hindu, but later he was converted to Jainism. Initially he was a Hindu, and that is why even today you'll find that almost 1/3 of the population, almost not less than 1/3, but they have a prominent number of Jains in Karnataka. But है prominent number है 15% तो होंगे 10-15% तो होंगे. But at that point of time, जब ये वाला दौर था, you can say that almost 1/3 of the population of Deccan was following Jainism. Almost 1/3 of the population of Deccan was following Jainism. Fine. Okay. Okay. If we talk about the society and economy under the Rashtrakutas, so basically it was Hinduism which flourished under their rule. So both Vaishnavism and Shaivism, it flourished, but because later rulers embraced Jainism, so Jainism also flourished in the later part. Right? But that doesn't mean that, and they equally patronized other religions such as Buddhism. तो जो भी वो religion होता था उससे मतलब नहीं है, राजा के धर्म से मतलब नहीं है. राजा सारे धर्म को एक जैसा देख के सबको प्रॉपर पैटर्नेज मिल रहा था. फाइन. एंड कन्नड़ लिटरेचर इट फ्लरिश्ड ड्यूरिंग दिस पीरियड. सो कन्नड़ लिटरेचर का बहुत कुछ जो है वो, बट दैट डजंट मीन दैट दे डिडंट. सो दे नॉट ओनली कन्नड़ बट दे ऑल्सो पैटर्नाइज संस्कृत. सो पैटर्नाइजेशन मिला, but sorry, हाँ, मतलब he was so great, Amogha Varsha, that he was compared with the four great rulers. He was there was a travelogue of an Arab merchant, Suleiman. Now this was the time when Arabs, they started having trade relations, and these Rashtrakutas, they have a great trade relations with the Arabs and the Romans. So उनके साथ trade कर रहे थे वो हमेशा से. So it was so huge, or the status of Amogh Varsha especially, that an Arab merchant compared Amogh Varsha with the ruler of Constantinople or the Caliph of Baghdad or the ruler of China. But he was of that stature. Okay. So they were, their commercial activities were quite active, and they had good relations with Arabs, especially friendly relations with Arabs. So it is again, धर्म का व्यापार से कोई मतलब नहीं आता. Fine. Yes. हमने चालुक्यंस कर लिया है ना. Pulkesin too and all. Chalukyans we have done ना. चालुक्यंस नहीं पढ़ा है. कल ही तो शुरू किया है. कहाँ इतना पीछे जा रहे हो. नहीं हुआ है ना. ओके. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक. नो प्रॉब्लम. The next major part of South, the Chalukyans. So again a significant, लिख लो इनके बारे में 3-4 लाइनें तो you will understand. The Chalukyans ruled over a large part of south and southern and central India. Southern and central India. They are known for their contributions in art, literature, architecture. They are known for their contribution to art, architecture, literature. Full stop. Their influence can be divided into 3 distinct branches. Their influence can be divided into 3 distinct branches. Number 1, early Chalukyas of Badami. Early Chalukyas of Badami, 6th to 8th centuries. Early Chalukyas of Badami, 6th to 8th centuries. Then next, later Chalukyas are also called as the Western Chalukyas. Of Kalyani. Later Chalukyans or Western Chalukyas of Kalyani, who ruled from 10th to 12th century. So Badami is in North Carolina. Its earlier name was Vatapi. Modern day name is Badami.
It's a good place to visit. It's a good place to visit. Badami, Ivory and Hampi.
The whole complex. That is where that was the political center of northern Karnataka. That view.
आज भी बहुत बहुत कुछ है
हाँ.
the epicenter for our
Yes. Fine. Third is Eastern Chalukyas of Vengi. Eastern Chalukyas of Vengi. So this dynasty was founded by Pulkesin I in 543 CE. to 566. But the greatest, so he was the one who founded this dynasty and made Badami the capital. He was the one who founded this dynasty and made Badami the capital. But the greatest ruler of this dynasty was Pulkesin II, 610 to 642. He was contemporary to Harsha. Note down about him. Pulkesin II is considered to be the real founder. Jaldi likhna. Pulkesin II is considered to be the real founder and the greatest ruler of this dynasty. Pulkesin II is the real founder and the greatest ruler of this dynasty. He defeated Gangas, Malabas, and Gurjaras. In 637, he defeated Harsha in the north. Pulkesin II defeated the Pallava king Mahendravarman I. Sorry. Pulkesin II defeated Pallava king Mahendravarman I, after which he crossed Kaveri. Though he suffered a significant defeat, at the hands of Pallava king, on कौन था जिसने पुलकेसिन II को हराया और मार दिया? हाय रोहित, क्या पेज पलट रहा है यार? यस, अब देख के बोला तो क्या बोल, कल पढ़ाया नरसिम्हवर्मन I. अच्छा, ओके, आर्किटेक्चर में लिख लो, known for rock cut temples and structural temples, known for rock cut temples and structural temples, Badami cave temples, Badami cave temples, Aihole and Pattadakkal temple complexes, Aihole and Pattadakkal temple complexes. So Pattadakkal has temples like the Virupaksha temple and Mallikarjuna temple. Virupaksha temple, सर याद करना पड़ेगा, और तुम ऐसे मत देखो पीछे बैठा तुम्हारे। Virupaksha temple, Mallikarjuna temple, so they laid the foundation for the Vesara style of architecture. They laid the foundation for the Vesara style. Vesara style is a blend of Nagara and Dravida. Fine. Then Kashi Vishweshwara temple at Lakundi. Am I pronouncing it right? Lakundi. Lakundi. I'm doing it right.
And I would. That is I would.
Athan. Ham. Mahadev temple at Itagi. That is what you said. The correct pronunciation is Itigi. Okay. और spelling ITA लिखा हुआ है. Itigi. Okay. And that is Aihole. Aihole. River. Okay. So there are 70 temples in that complex. Apart from that, when you see the Pattadakal. Pattadakal is a UNESCO World Heritage Site where there are 10 temples in which 4 are in the Nagara style and 6 are in the Dravida style. Then Sangameshwara temple is also a part at Pattadakal. Okay. Now we'll talk about Cholas, and this time Cholas we will be talking about them in the middle time, or the imperial Cholas, what we call as 850 to 1279. Also called as imperial Cholas. No doubt. The imperial Cholas rose to prominence. The imperial Cholas rose to prominence under Vijayalaya Chola. Under Vijayalaya Chola, who captured the region of Thanjavur. Who captured the region of Thanjavur. From the declining Pallavas. The Chola Empire at its peak. The Chola Empire at its peak. Sorry. Extended from the southern tip of India, to the northern Deccan, and even included territories in Sri Lanka, Maldives, and Southeast Asia. Sri Lanka, Maldives, and Southeast Asia. Their rule is considered as the golden age of, after full stop. Their rule is considered the golden age of Tamil culture, art, architecture, and literature. So Vijayalaya Chola, he ruled from 850 to 871. Fine. He was succeeded by Aditya I, 870 to 907. He was succeeded by Aditya I, 871 to 907. So he defeated Pallavas and Pandyas. He expanded Chola Empire by defeating Pallavas and Pandyas. Then Parantaka won. He ruled from 907 to 950. So he चलो अभी तुम खुश हो जाओ रोहित. You will be happy. अभी तमिल पढ़ रहा है ना तो दिल के अंदर फिर कुछ हो रहा होगा. हाँ?
आज की तरह not the ancient Tamil.
वो सही थे.
We respect the Tamil culture. We respect the Tamil language.
But
we don't like the people's accent.
see what happens. There's a very simple thumb rule. In a statement, whatever is said before but is useless.
No, sir, we do respect. And they do respect our culture as well.
Fine. So Parantaka 1, 907 to 950. He faced, no down. He faced a major defeat at the hands of Rashtrakutas. He faced a major defeat at the hands of Rashtrakutas. In the Battle of Takkolam on the board. Rashtrakutas in the Battle of Takkolam in 949 CE, which temporarily weakened the Chola power. Which temporarily weakened the Chola power. Then come the most celebrated ruler of the Chola dynasty. Raja Chola I. He captured Sri Lanka and Maldives. And is known for the construction of Brihadeshwara temple at Thanjavur. Brihadeshwara temple at Thanjavur. Fine. The next important ruler was Rajendra I. He ruled from 1014 to 1044. Raja Chola ruled from 985 to 1014. Raja Chola. लिखो. He completed the conquest of Sri Lanka. He completed the conquest of Sri Lanka and expanded the Chola Empire to Bengal by defeating the Pala king. And expanded the Chola Empire to Bengal after defeating the Pala king, Mahipal. Chola Empire to Bengal and earned the title Gangai Konda Chola. Conqueror of Ganga. He also conducted a successful naval expedition You also conducted a successful naval expedition to Srivijaya kingdom in modern day Indonesia and Malaysia. Gangai-Konda Cholapuram. So there is a temple which is also with the same name, and there was a city which was also with the same name. यार बताओ भाई रोहित, मॉडर्न डे क्या नाम है इसका? It is with the same name. Near Thanjavur. It is near Thanjavur. Yeah. Now there's a temple basically near Thanjavur which is left. अब वो लोकेलिटी हो गया होगा, उसी का पार्ट हो गया होगा. फाइन. क्या हुआ? हाँ, इन साउथ इंडिया. नॉर्थ इंडिया में सब बदल गया. हमारा प्रेजेंट मतलब पहले वो एंशिएंट बदल गए, फिर एंशिएंट के बाद जो मिडिवल है वो बदल गए, फिर अभी मॉडर्न, फिर बदल गए. फाइन. अच्छा, when you talk about Chola administration, when I wrote Gangai-Konda Cholapuram, Joel was looking at like this, ये क्या है? वो पीछे ही बैठा है, तुम्हारा फ्रेंड. He is not your friend.
नहीं.
Visualizing it. Okay. So here again a centralized kingdom where king was at the core. अच्छा, इसके अलावा important जो rulers हुए, Raja second, Raja third, then Rajendra third, not that significant. Fine. इनके उस पे बात कर लेते हैं. So provincial administration की अगर हम बात करें, so first of all there was a king and king was supported by council of ministers and advisors. Fine. Then the empire was divided into provinces called as mandalams. Provinces were called as mandalams, and these were further divided into districts. Called as Valanadus. Then these were further divided into sub-districts called as Nadus. लिखो. The Cholas encouraged local self-government. The Cholas encouraged local self-governments. The Cholas encouraged local self-governance, especially in villages. Especially in villages. The Ur, Sabha and Nagaram assemblies on the board. The Ur, Sabha and Nagaram assemblies played a key role in village administration played a key role in village administrations, dealing with matters like irrigation, taxation, and law. Dealing with matters like irrigation, taxation, and law. Full stop. The Cholas implemented an advanced revenue system. The Cholas implemented an advanced revenue system based on detailed land surveys, ensuring fair and systematic taxation. Full stop. Agriculture was the backbone of economy. Agriculture was the backbone of the economy and was supported by extensive irrigation systems, including tanks, canals, and dams. क्या लिखा? Tanks, canals, and dams. The Cholas built the famous Grand Anicut. That is Kalanai Dam. On Kaveri River. Fine. Bagi, the role of Cholas in temple architecture you must have done in your art and culture. So I'm not falling into that. अच्छा एक पॉइंट लिख लो. Cholas, one thing you remember that Cholas, they promoted Shaivism. The Cholas, they promoted Shaivism, but they were tolerant of other religions as well. Okay. Okay. Now, from here, let us move back up north. क्या ज़्यादा हो गया आज?
वैसे भी आप थोड़ा जिस लेके वैसे भी वाइंड अप करोगे। वैसे भी थोड़ा जिस लेके वाइंड अप करोगे 10 मिनट।
अच्छा,
इससे अच्छा आप कल फ्रेश स्टार्ट करते हैं।
चलो ठीक है. Okay. Tomorrow we'll start with Arab and Turkish, and tomorrow we'll finish till Delhi Sultanate. ठीक है? Okay, fine. Thank you so much. मैं इसीलिए 2.25 घंटे ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ाता. आई नो, जिस दिन मैंने 2.5 घंटे जिस दिन पूरे फुल फ्लेजेड पढ़ा दिया ना, उस दिन ये होता है. आई नो. चलो कोई नहीं, विल मीट टुमारो एट 2 फॉर हिस्ट्री क्लास.